of something for everyone. So why can't we just open up a discussion and have everybody talk about the things they love instead of, biting the heads off of people for liking things that they themselves don't like? It's okay. It is okay. Hate only begets more hate. So instead, let's just kind of respect the journey, so to speak, and kind of just appreciate where we've gone as a business and as fans. And I think there should be more of a mutual respect, to be honest with you, because this is how I view it. And people can disagree with me. That's okay. This is my theory. Some people love it. Other people call me a child for it. I really don't care. For me, I say let's be pros at being fans, because at the end of the day, like 90% of us that are in the wrestling business itself started out as fans, so for us to be looking down our nose at the fans buying tickets, sitting in the seats, commenting on our social platforms, it's kind of ridiculous to me and very silly, because it's like, if you don't have fans, why are you getting paid to be on a show? If you're getting paid to be on a show and you're not selling tickets to set fans, number one, how do you expect to stay on the show? And number two, how do you expect there to be a show if nobody's buying tickets for it? Eventually, wrestling is a business. If there's not enough people buying and too much money getting put into it and it's not making money, it's going to go out of business. So I think there should be more mutual respect, because not all the fans understand what it's like to be a professional wrestler behind the scenes, taking bumps, taking years off of your life for something that you love, and to be critiqued by writers who have never set foot in a ring, but hey, 5 stars, it's very silly. So I think there should be more mutual respect, because at the end of the day, if you don't have fans, you're not really, or people that love to hate you and hate to love you, whatever. I like to call it the Miz effect. Because at one point, all you had to hear was, I'm the Miz. Boo! I mean, that's money. If you can make people boo without even having to finish your name, that's pretty awesome. That's money. So I think there should be a lot more mutual respect. Fans, they're spending their hard-earned money that they worked for to not only get in their car, to drive to an event, spend that gas money, spend time most likely in traffic, to buy that ticket, to sit for 2 hours or more, to buy that ticket, to watch the show, to buy merchandise, to potentially buy food or drinks, then have to spend more gas money to go home, possibly in traffic after an event, go home, get to bed, and then get up and go to their workday all again the next day. So that was something that I was taught at Ohio Valley Wrestling was, what is it about you as a performer that's going to make a fan want to go through all of that to see you? Okay, and then the other thing they really emphasized at Ohio Valley Wrestling was, what are you doing in that ring that is worth the money? Because every second of TV time costs money. Okay, 30 seconds of TV time, a lot of people don't realize is a lot of money. 30 seconds. Some of the more fancy entrances at WWE are more than 30 seconds. So imagine thousands of dollars going into 30 seconds of TV time, which sometimes is not even long enough for you to make it from the entranceway to the ring, first off. And then on top of that, make people not want to change the channel. Okay, so I was always taught that you have to think of an entrance like a mini commercial for yourself, because it's the one time that the camera is solely on you before anything has happened to you. There's obviously exceptions to the rule, like if you get jumped on the entranceway or whatever, but that's the one time it's on you. So that's kind of like a mini commercial for you and your brand within the product that you're working on. Okay, so what are you doing that's so special and so eye-catching that it's going to make a fan flipping through the channels want to stop and watch you? And how are you paying back the company who's putting in all that money to even have that show, whether on TV, YouTube, whatever the circumstances are? So there's a lot of variables that go into it. And that's why I say, let's be pros at being fans. Because it doesn't matter what ticket a fan bought, whether it's in the nosebleed seats where you feel like if you sneeze, you're going to fall like 10 stories, or front row where you can barely see, on the floor where you can barely see anything because everybody in front of you on the floor is standing up anyway. So what are you going to do as a pro that's going to make fans want to do this? And at the same time, as a fan, we should have a little bit more respect for the stuff that does go into it, And I talked about in the last episode of Talks with Taeler Hendrix that wrestlers really do make terrible family members. we are always gone. We miss weddings, we miss childbirth, we miss birthdays, holidays, we miss tons. You know, it's no secret now, after, you know, Total Divas has come on the air, Tough Enough, and all these different shows and documentaries. I remember a few years ago, like 5 years ago, there was one on True TV. It really shows you how much actually goes into being a professional wrestler. We're on the road all the time, 300 plus days out of the year. You barely get any sleep, you know. Sorry, I'm like really excited, so I'm like, oh. You barely get any sleep. You have to be performing at your absolute best. You have to look your absolute best. Everything costs money. Okay, down to your own eyelashes that usually, you know, depending where you buy them, cost more than $5. And if you don't use the right kind of glue, they're like halfway off, halfway into your match. You know, tanner, makeup, supplements, gear bags, you know, a lot of that, it all adds up. So we need to be better at being pros, at being fans. You know, we shouldn't be looking down our nose at anybody, because they all have a place. And I kind of feel like sometimes there's more fans in the back as opposed to in the seats sometimes. And so I think we all need a reality check to just stop and enjoy. You know, if you aren't a fan of WWE, it's okay. There's other stuff to watch. If you aren't a fan of New Japan, that's okay. There's other stuff to watch. Okay, there's a little bit of something for everyone. And yes, some people may feel that it's a little oversaturated, and that comes with opportunity. But more opportunity on television means more jobs for more people, which means more eyeballs, which means more exposure for the entire business. So that's why I'm always saying in my blogs and YouTube that success isn't a pie. You know, if I have a certain amount of success, that doesn't mean less success for someone else. Because if I do a good job and better and better and better, I'm going to be indirectly opening up doors for other people. You know, back when I first came into wrestling, you weren't getting on TV as fast as the girls are these days. You had to pay a lot more dues, okay? But having more eyeballs on certain products opened up a lot more doors. Like, I remember that there was only one all-women's promotion when I first started in my part of the East Coast. Now, they're everywhere, all over the United States. You know, so there's a lot of opportunity. But with that being said, you also have to be humble and be prepared. You know, and that all comes with having a respect for not just yourself and where the business is going, but where the business has been. Because there's a lot of people that came before you that paved way for you to have the opportunities that you have, not just as fans, but also as wrestlers. You know, people like Princess Victoria or Nikki Rocks or myself. You know, we've all had our own roles in certain things that opened up more opportunities for other people. You know, women like Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, you know, Tori Wilson, Trish Stratus, Victoria, Velvet McIntyre, Sherry Martel, Mae Young. Okay, there's so many women over the years that did the best they could with what they had and elevated it, you know. That there's something to be said for that. And that isn't just women's wrestling. It just happens to be obviously my expertise as a woman in the professional wrestling business. So if people, you know, I don't want people to think it's one-sided, because it's not. But it's been my experience because I am a woman in the professional wrestling business. And for me, there's a lot of wrestlers that go through these kind of, I like to call it the hate to love and love to hate periods of time in their career. And it happens to almost all of us. You know, there's things that'll get us down, or things that we wish would have gone differently, things like that. Or, you know, hindsight's 2020, and, you know, growing as not just as a performer, but as a person, really. And so we have those periods of time where it's like, oh, we hate to love it and we love to hate it, you know? And that sounds really stupid, but it's the honest to goodness truth. And any wrestler who's being candid with you will say, like, yeah, that's a thing. So it kind of, you have two choices. You can either be bitter or let it help you get better, essentially. And I think you also need that bitterness at first to realize, oh, okay, this isn't the type of wrestler and type of person I want to be, so now I'm going to use this to help me get better and better and better. And that goes for life in general too, not just pro wrestling, okay? And that's something that I think fans should really be more in tune with as fans, you know, because we obviously know if we're fans, we're not stepping into the ring, or maybe we're fans and we can't step into the ring anymore. Whatever the case may be more supportive and being more open as a community. Like, that's why I love the Taylor Army community, just because they're so inviting,